The 1971 forms part of the Orcadian Vintages collection. These are the top end, very, very rare whiskies that we have. This is the fourth out of the set, and we're probably going to create, we think we're going to create over the, the next 10, 15 years, 10 in total. This is the fourth on our journey. At that time of the distillery, what you have to do is you have to really go back in a time machine and go back to where the distillery was like and imagine what it was like there. And there's two massive influences for the Vintages series so far. One is wind and one is casks. The 1964, 1960 are great examples of windy and non-windy days in Orkney, and the 1970 for me is just perfection when it comes to these things. The 1971 is when we start playing with wood, we start playing with casks, we start pulling the flavours in different ways. But back then in 1971, 100% of everything we made was sold to blenders. And you made everything to a specification that was sold to a blender. And if something was, too sweet, too dry, too smoky, not smoky enough, you didn't want it. So we kept that at the distillery, we put it into sherry casks and we just left it there. And it's only years later when the sweetness catches up or the dryness becomes fruity, and it just changes, and then it becomes Highland Park. And it's only 1979 when we create our first single malt for ourselves. Everything prior to that is sold under license, but 79 is when we do it physically ourselves. So in 1971 is a wonderful dark whisky. It is a great example of what a Spanish oak casks does to Highland Park. If you were to turn it 45 degrees and spin it all the way around, you'll notice that the tears and legs are a bit smaller now. We're now up to 46.9% alcohol, but it takes an absolute age to go down the side of the glass. They're in no hurry at all to form. They're just hugging the side of the glass, just refusing to move. But when you smell it, it's that instant sweetness. Totally rounded, totally together. It's not about the smoke arriving later. The smoke and the sweetness arrive exactly at the same time. Just fills the nose. Very gentle. And then when you taste it, the 30 odd years it's had aging in a cask has just mellowed that tremendously. The extra, 6.5, 6.9% alcohol gives you that wonderful little kick, so you know it's there. It brings the sweetness alive, it brings the whisky alive. If that was at 40%, I think that for me that would just be, it'd be okay. But at 46.9, that really is bursting full of energy. And then, only after a very long time do you get that dryness, that you get that gentle smoky aftertaste that Highland Park is famous for, but it's taken 30 odd years for that balance to happen. It didn't happen after 12, it didn't happen after 18. We had to wait since 1971 till 2011 to do that. That is a fantastic whisky. Just a moment in time that you'll never see again. Cheers.